Hi, my name is Mykesia Wells, and I want to walk through the outline of creative speaking, which was from chapter 10 of our studies in the art of outline speech. Okay, think of this as just the building blocks in this particular chapter. In this chapter, it goes over the fundamentals that are needed to build a proper speech within the segment. Okay. In chapter 10, it's about creative and uh, effective speech outlined. Okay. So, want to make sure that we give the effectiveness of our speech and making sure that we are more aware of things that are going on in order to reciprocate or convey our discussions that we're having with our audience. Whether you speak in front of a camera, a mirror, or in front of other people, you always want to be well mannered with that outline of that speaking. And a strong outline is your blueprint on having a great speech. Okay. Now, according to the chapter, Lucas outlined in his critical part of the speech preparations because it helps you organize an idea and clear consciousness and logic of what it is that you want to convey to your audience. So having that building blocks to empathize, to understand when to ask questions, when to go over things is a great way to move forward with getting your speech outline of where you want to head back to. Um, so with the outline, you always want to also focus on the audience. What is it that you are trying to convey? Preparation. You always want to prepare yourself, have an outline, speak clear, speaking outline, a speech outline. You always want to have the two main focuses that he conveys would be the outline of every speaker uses, which is preparation and understanding where to speak outline is. Okay, probably did not convey that as well as I would like to articulate. Specific purpose, you all want to keep in mind the specific purpose that you are trying to get across to the parties, which is also correlated in the chapter. Central ideas, also the introduction, the body, and also the conclusion of your speech. Okay. The other things that once you got all the prep outline, you create a speech outline. This is what is actually brings with you the importance of your speech. It pulls it all together. Okay. However, you do have to remember that the way that you deliver a speech moving forward is something that you want to make sure your audience can also relate to and understand. And why you want to do that is because reading from a script or is, in my case, unfortunately, reading from a script or looking at not really conveying to the audience what you're trying to say gives you more of a disconnect from your audience. Okay. Also, moving forward, let's talk about practicing. I practice. Unfortunately, I have a big fear of speaking, but sometimes it doesn't come across as I feel as that I'm not conveying what I need to my audience. So with practicing and going forward, you will always have a better opportunity to convey what you're trying to say, making it clear and concise for your audience moving forward. Make sure you're using full sentences, making sure that you find ways to connect, ask questions if your audience wants to ask questions. That preparation for speaking in person is something that is needed. Keep your speech outline clean and readable. This right here will help you convey when you can't really do too much when everything is written everywhere. Includes translations if need be. Also make cultural connections. Those are the things. Read your outline out loud so that you know what you're speaking on and what it is that you're doing. Okay, you never want to just be speaking, but speak with your outline and practice. Once again, practice makes perfect. It is something that is difficult even when you're practicing. Sometimes our words, my tongue for one, gets tongue tied, so I'm having to pronounce. Make sure that you're fully pronouncing your words while practicing, and the more you practice, the more you get the flow, the more that the audience can connect to what you're saying. Now you might think it's okay and sounds helpful for a class speech, but for me, this class has helped me a lot. I'm still not perfect. I am still working on it. But having these building blocks to just know my outline of where I'm trying to take my speech and where I'm going is kind of centering for me. It helps me to convey what I'm trying to get across to the other parties or the audience or that of my choice. Also, outline is a huge practical reality in life when you're doing any type of things. If you actually think about it, when you're writing a paper, when you're doing a rough draft, things like this, having an outline, a basis of where you're trying to go with your dynamic, your speaking, that really helps with the ability of moving forward for your speech. Let's see here. The other thing is it's organization and focus. Most of the times I wouldn't say I'm too organized. It kind of, it is something that I'm learning to do more of. But organization, learning these building blocks and learning how to stay organized when I'm talking does help me convey what I need to get across more frequently and more. It helps me stay on track to what I'm doing. So going over key points, making sure you're organized, these are things that help you convey what you're talking about in a speech. Now, as far as everything else, I think chapter 10 in this book was very helpful in teaching me how to move forward. I hope that I've conveyed my speech clearly and ethically for you. Let me know. And again, thank you for joining me and listening.